So apparently people are pretty angry because after Jonathan Majors was fired from Marvel and rumors are that he could be recast or they'll simply go with Doctor Doom in the rest of the multiverse saga, now fans are coming out and saying, hey, we should recast T'Challa since they're going to recast Jonathan Majors. And yes, obviously there's a major difference. One guy is dead and the other guy was fired for domestic assault. But I'm on the side of recasting T'Challa, but let's go through this article. So going through it, the beginning talks about his shocking death in 2020, which was unexpected because he was battling cancer and nobody knew about it. But then it goes into why Marvel Studios did not recast Black Panther in the first place. It says, in an interview with Empire, Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige explained the decision not to recast Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther. Amid the several petitions and outcry of fans on social media, there was nothing that could change their minds. He stated, it just felt like it was much too soon to recast. Stan Lee always said that Marvel represents the world outside your window. And we had talked about how, as extraordinary and fantastical as our characters and stories are, there's a relatable and human element to everything we do. The world is still processing the loss of Chad, and director Ryan Coogler poured that into the story. Now, I think everything up until the last two sentences is kind of a non-answer and doesn't really have anything to do with why they shouldn't recast T'Challa. I think he's just using Stan Lee and an often misinterpreted motto to explain why they shouldn't bring an iconic character back with a new actor. But they also have a comment from Ryan Coogler, who almost didn't want to come back to make the sequel. He said, the conversations were entirely about, yes, what do we do next? And how could the legacy of Chadwick and what he had done to help Wakanda and the Black Panther become these incredible, aspirational, iconic ideas? Continue? That's what it was all about. Marvel Studios did not recast T'Challa, and Shuri assumed the mantle of Black Panther. This was not the case with Jonathan Majors' Kang the Conqueror. With the news of his conviction for assaulting his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari, last March, Marvel finally fired the actor. Based on the pulse of the crowd, the only way to deal with this issue is either to recast Kang the Conqueror or, like T'Challa, drop it and find a new villain. Many were surprisingly fine with replacing Majors. This is not the case with Boseman's T'Challa. I did make a brief video where I talked about Majors getting fired, and honestly, I felt like Disney waited too long to separate themselves from him because that just gave them less time to figure out what to do next with the multiverse saga, which has already been a years-long demonstration of misstep after misstep. It goes on to say, a campaign hashtag is growing on social media promoting the recast of T'Challa. A lot of fans felt devastated that the Black Panther did not return in the sequel, hence the birth of the viral movement. Meanwhile, Chadwick Boseman's fans are furious about the proposal. Check out their reactions below. Kang has yet to reach his full peak. That's why it may not matter to some of y'all, but Chadwick left such an impact on the MCU and the crew that they respectfully thought they let the character die with him. Now, I'm not saying it's popular, but who knows when they do a reboot. Dan Trell says, the circumstances of what happened to both of them are very different. Yeah, and that's obvious. Chance the Scrapper says, Majors didn't die tragically. Do you hear yourself? Basically the same sentiment. Vito the Vampire Slayer says, the director lost a personal friend and so did the entire cast. The director didn't want to do that. It's not as simple as someone being a shitty person, but people like you care more about fictional characters than the humans behind the scenes. Okay, but I feel like that's not a big deal when the conversation is surrounding a fictional character. Chadwick Boseman, as good as he was in that role, is not T'Challa. As much as I love Hugh Jackman in the role of Wolverine, he is not literally Wolverine, and I accept that people will, that he'll be recast and there will be new actors down the road who portray the character. Now again, I understand that Hugh Jackman is not dead, but the point is that we're talking about a fictional character being recast in a film. And it's not even an original character. Like, Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. People will always recognize him as the Indiana Jones. It was an original movie character, and Harrison Ford was the first guy to take that role. So even if they do recast him in the future, people will always recognize those other actors as lesser versions. And this isn't to insult Chadwick Boseman, it's just to state a fact. T'Challa the Black Panther is not an original movie character. In fact, he was created before Chadwick Boseman even existed. He obviously exists longer than Chadwick Boseman. The legacy of T'Challa is bigger than the legacy of Chadwick Boseman. So it's stupid to treat this as some sort of moral copyright infringement if Marvel dares to recast the role of T'Challa in the MCU. We're talking about a fictional character. Nobody is arguing that they should create an AI replica of Chadwick Boseman, or they should create a hologram CGI likeness of him and put it in an award show. No one is talking about parading around the dead body of Chadwick Boseman. They're talking about recasting a fictional character for a popular film series, a character that people want to see, a character that, from rumors, it sounded like they wanted to head up the MCU after the death of Tony Stark. I don't think you need to bring up the differences between Jonathan Majors and Chadwick Boseman. I think it's silly to pretend like Chadwick Boseman as a person and his legacy is somehow harmed by allowing another actor to play a fictional character that wasn't originally attached to Chadwick Boseman. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you would hit that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell so that you never miss out on a new video. Thanks for watching.